Welcome back to Friends with Benefits Car Club, where we serve up the latest car news with a side of sarcasm and just the right amount of disbelief. Today's lineup is packed with stories that'll make you laugh, cry, and seriously question what some automakers were thinking. First up, a Tesla Cybertruck gets seized in the UK because apparently driving something that looks like a rejected Mad Max prop without proper paperwork is a no-go. Who knew? Meanwhile, Aptera is flexing their solar-powered EV at CES 2025, promising 1,000 miles of range. Sounds great if you live on the sun. ChargePoint has introduced an anti-theft alarms for EV chargers because stealing charging cables is apparently the new side hustle. And Lexus, they're quietly pulling the plug on the RC F Coupe after 2025. Honestly, we forgot it was still in production. Scout Motors is throwing us a curveball with their infotainment system, blending retro vibes with futuristic tech. Plus, CES 2025 is bringing us holographic HUDs and transparent displays because who doesn't want their car to feel like a Marvel movie set? And finally, Toyota's Hino Motors division is back in trouble with another emissions scandal because let's be real, some habits just won't die. If you like what we're sharing, comment, like, and subscribe because the algorithm thinks you want more of this good content. Stick around, it's gonna be a wild ride. So, someone in the UK thought they'd be the first to flex a Tesla Cybertruck on British roads, only to have it confiscated by the police faster than a soccer hooligan after a pub fight. You see, the Cybertruck is not exactly street legal in the UK. Apparently, driving something that looks like it came straight out of a dystopian video game doesn't sit well with the strict vehicle regulations across the pond. British authorities cited issues with safety regulations, particularly regarding pedestrian protection and compliance with lighting, emissions, or lack thereof, and size requirements. The Cybertruck's unapologetically angular design might make it cool in California, but in the UK, not so much. In fact, it violates several laws, including the sharp edges that could turn it into a moving can opener in case of an accident. The owner, probably envisioning themselves as the coolest person on the M1, now faces the grim reality of having to ship it back to the US or undergo an extensive and costly process to modify it to meet local standards. That means changing lighting, adding side mirrors, and softening those sharp edges, essentially de-Cybertrucking it. This raises the bigger question: should Tesla have thought about making a global-friendly Cybertruck, or are they sticking with the America first, everywhere else later strategy? Either way, if you're thinking about importing one, take this as your sign to do your homework, because right now, the Cybertruck is more likely to end up in police custody than your driveway. Aptera, the futuristic three-wheeled solar-powered EV company, was back at CES 2025 with some bold claims that are turning heads and raising eyebrows. They're touting an eye-popping 1,000-mile range on a single charge, which, let's be honest, sounds too good to be true, unless you plan on driving exclusively under the blazing sun with zero traffic, no wind resistance, and a driving style that makes hypermilers look reckless. Let's break it down. The Aptera EV is designed with extreme aerodynamics in mind, boasting a drag coefficient lower than your average sneeze. The vehicle is covered in over 700 watts of solar panels, claiming to generate enough power to fuel daily commutes without ever needing to plug in. For those living in perpetually sunny climates like Arizona or Southern California, that sounds great. But for the rest of us, the cloud-filled reality might mean still relying on a traditional charger more often than Aptera wants to admit. Design-wise, the Aptera EV looks like it belongs on the set of Blade Runner, with a body that screams spaceship rather than daily driver. Its three-wheel setup and ultra-lightweight materials help maximize efficiency, but it raises concerns about safety and practicality. Would you trust it in a fender bender with an F-150? Probably not. Despite all this, Aptera has been working tirelessly to bring their ambitious concept to production, and they've amassed a cult following of eco-conscious futurists who are eagerly waiting for their solar-powered dream car. The big question though, can they scale production and prove that a solar EV isn't just a CES gimmick, but a legitimate transportation alternative? If they pull it off, it could revolutionize the industry. If not, it'll be another case of cool idea, but time will tell. It's official, EV charging cables are the new hot item on the black market. With the rise of electric vehicles, thieves have found a new favorite target: charging stations. That's why ChargePoint, one of the biggest players in the EV infrastructure game, has decided to roll out anti-theft alarms to keep their chargers from disappearing faster than free samples at Costco. The new feature will include a built-in alarm system that activates if someone tries to unplug the charging cable without proper authentication. Think of it like those security tags on clothes, but instead of a loud beep at the exit, your charger will scream bloody murder in the parking lot. Why are people stealing EV charging cables, you ask? Well, these cables contain valuable copper wiring, and with metal prices skyrocketing, thieves are finding creative ways to make a quick buck. Plus, let's not forget the sheer pettiness. Some EV haters might just unplug your ride out of spite. ChargePoint's alarm is a step in the right direction, but let's face it, will it really deter someone determined enough? If catalytic converter theft has taught us anything, it's that thieves will find a way. Maybe it's time we start seeing locked charging bays and security cameras at every station. For now at least, you can have some peace of mind knowing that your EV charger might be a little harder to steal. Unless of course, someone brings a pair of noise-canceling headphones and a bolt cutter. Car enthusiasts, it's time to pour one out. Lexus has officially announced that the RC F Coupe will be discontinued after 2025, marking the end of an era for one of the last naturally aspirated V8-powered luxury sports cars. If you're a fan of high-revving engines, this news probably hits harder than expected. The LexusRCF debuted back in 2015, entering the performance coupe scene with its 5.0-liter V8 engine, producing a respectable 472 horsepower. It was Lexus's attempt to take on the heavyweights like the BMW M4 and Audi RS5, and while it brought Japanese reliability and a unique sense of style to the table, it never quite gained the same cult following as its European competitors. What made the RCF special? First off, that V8. In an age where turbochargers dominate and automakers are downsizing faster than your local department store, Lexus stubbornly stuck to their guns with a naturally aspirated setup that delivered a raw and unfiltered driving experience. That screaming engine could hit 7,100 RPM, delivering a soundtrack that could rival Italian exotics. But despite all its charm, the RCF was always a bit of an underdog. It was heavier than the competition, and while Lexus's build quality is second to none, it lacked the razor-sharp handling dynamics that BMW and Audi perfected over the years. Sure, it had the reliability of a Toyota Camry and interior quality that could survive the apocalypse, but it just couldn't match the raw excitement of an M or RS badge. So why is it being killed off? Lexus cites shifting market demands and their push towards electrification, which means we're probably going to see more hybrid or all-electric performance models in the near future. In other words, the days of high-revving V8s are coming to an end, and the RCF is another victim of progress. For those who've always admired the RCF from a distance, now might be the best time to snag one before they become collector's items. And let's be honest, down the road, when everything is silent and electric, we'll all be missing cars like the RCF. So long, old friend, you were misunderstood, but we loved you anyway. If you haven't been paying attention, Scout Motors, it's making a comeback in a big way. Once an iconic name in the off-roading world, Scout, now under Volkswagen, has been busy developing their first new vehicles in decades. And while most of the focus has been on their rugged, boxy design and off-road capability, they're also teasing something that might surprise you: their infotainment system. Scout's new infotainment setup is promising a blend of modern digital tech with a retro-inspired user interface that'll make old-school off-roaders feel right at home. Unlike modern SUVs that bombard you with overly complicated touchscreens and endless menus, Scout is taking a different approach by keeping things simple, intuitive, and, most importantly, functional. Early previews suggest that the system will feature large, glove-friendly physical dials and buttons alongside a crisp touchscreen interface. Expect essential features like off-road mapping, live telemetry, and real-time terrain analysis baked right into the UI. The system will even offer adventure tracking, which means you can log your trips and brag about your off-road escapades later. Scout is taking a page out of Land Rover's book by ensuring the infotainment works with the driver rather than against them. This means fewer touch controls and more physical inputs, a blessing when you're bouncing around off-road and trying to change the climate settings without accidentally blasting death metal at full volume. With Volkswagen backing Scout, we can expect solid software integration, but the challenge lies in balancing modern tech with the rugged simplicity that off-road enthusiasts love. Will Scout's infotainment be the perfect companion for the trails, or will it end up as another overcomplicated tech experiment? One thing's for sure, if Scout nails the balance between nostalgia and modern convenience, they might just steal some serious market share from Jeep and Bronco. Keep your eyes peeled for more updates, because Scout is shaping up to be a serious contender in the off-road space. Every year at CES, we get a glimpse into the future of automotive technology, and this year is no different. Automakers are diving headfirst into augmented reality with holographic head-up displays, HUDs, and transparent screens, because apparently having a normal dashboard is just too boring now. HUD technology has been around for a while, but CES 2025 is taking things to the next level. Imagine driving down the highway and having navigation prompts, speed readouts, and even hazard warnings floating in midair on your windshield. No more glancing down at your infotainment screen. Everything you need will be projected right in front of you, like you're piloting a spaceship. But it doesn't stop there. Transparent displays are making their way into passenger seats, allowing your co-pilot to watch movies, browse social media, or even video call without distracting the driver. Some automakers are even incorporating adjustable transparency, meaning you can switch between total opacity and full see-through mode depending on your privacy needs. Of course, with great tech comes great distractions. While manufacturers claim these new displays will enhance driver awareness, there's always the risk of information overload. Do we really need to see the weather, traffic updates, and incoming texts all in one place while navigating rush hour? The biggest concern with this tech is durability and cost. Windshield replacements are already expensive, and adding a bunch of high-tech projection equipment isn't going to make them any cheaper. But if done right, these innovations could revolutionize how we interact with our vehicles, making driving safer, more intuitive, and, let's face it, way cooler. Well, here we go again. Toyota's Hino Motors, their commercial truck and bus division, has been caught cheating on emissions tests. If you're getting flashbacks to Dieselgate, you're not alone. Apparently, some lessons just never sink in. Regulators found that Hino had been fudging emissions data for years, making the engines look far cleaner and greener than they actually were. This scandal affects thousands of heavy-duty vehicles worldwide, with the potential for massive fines, lawsuits, and, of course, a whole lot of embarrassment for Toyota. The kicker? This isn't Hino's first rodeo when it comes to emission scandals. They were caught doing the same thing in 2022, and it seems they've been playing the same old tricks under a new name. Officials revealed that the company had tampered with data to meet increasingly strict emission standards, which raises the question, how many more automakers are still playing dirty behind the scenes? For customers and businesses who invested in Hino's clean diesel technology, this is a huge blow. Not only does it affect resale values, but it also raises doubts about the company's commitment to sustainability. At this point, it's safe to say that trust in emissions compliance is pretty much in the gutter. If even Toyota, a brand known for its eco-consciousness, can't keep their numbers honest, who can? And that's a wrap on today's episode of Friends with Benefits Car Club. We covered a lot, from the poor soul in the UK who had their Tesla Cybertruck seized. Seriously, did they think the paperwork would sort itself out? To Aptera's solar-powered EV that promises 1,000 miles of range, assuming you live on the surface of the sun. We also took a look at ChargePoint, stepping up their game with anti-theft alarms for EV chargers. Because apparently, stealing charging cables is a thing now. Lexus is saying goodbye to the RC F Coupe, another victim of the V8 extinction crisis. Meanwhile, Scout Motors is bringing some serious retro-futuristic vibes to their infotainment system, blending old-school charm with modern tech. Then there's CES 2025, where holographic HUDs and transparent displays are making sure your dashboard looks like something straight out of Iron Man. And of course, Toyota's Hino Motors is back in hot water with another emissions scandal, because apparently they just can't resist fudging those numbers. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. We can take it. Leave your comments on what we talked about today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to catch up on previous episodes, I'll leave them up on the screen for you. Thank you for watching to the end. It means the world to us. Whether you're here for the laughs, the news, or just to hang out, you're part of the Friends with Benefits family. As always, thanks for joining us on this ride. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep driving, and remember, if the car you're driving doesn't make you feel like a superhero, you're driving the wrong one. Friends with Benefits, driving off.